geometry. I can name points, lines, rays, segments, and angles. So we're going to start with your vocabulary sheet. A point. Point's a location. So it's like on a coordinate grid or on a line, and you would usually see a letter with some sort of a dot. A line then is something that goes on forever. When you name it, what'll happen a lot of times is you don't have to draw this picture, but there'll be a line that'll have a couple points. And you can name these points. They're usually named, here's a B, C, let's say. And you just put them in order. So an example would be line AB. Do you see how the line's over the top? That tells me it's a line, and it's line AB. It could be AB or BA. A ray is the one you have to watch out for, because a ray is a part of a line in one direction. So for instance, if I can draw a better picture here of a ray, let's say the ray goes this way. And here's a point here, and there's a point at the end. If this point is B and this point is A, you can't call this one AB because A is not the end point. The end point is the first letter it has to be, for instance, B, A, and then it goes on forever through the A. It's the only one you have to watch out for the direction. Segment then is part of a line. So it'd be like the part between here and here. So you would name it AB. You don't need dots on the end. You just need the letters and then what it is. And again, this one can go in any direction. So in your notebook right now, I want you to number your notebook 1, 2, and 3. Your job right now is to name these 3 things. Oh. Now I don't just want if it's a line, it's a ray, it's a segment. I want the name with the letters. So for instance, this one, number 3, you could have ST, segment, there's no arrows, no dots, or segment, TS. Go label the other 2. All right, I'm going to work up because this doesn't matter. I would draw a line, and this would be GH, or line HG. This one does matter because it's a ray. So I have to find the endpoint. It's F. That letter has to come first. So it's ray FE. All right, let's look at intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are lines that cross. So it'd just be something like this. Parallel lines are like train tracks. Lines that never cross. And they look like this. There's a shortcut way to write parallel so you don't have to write out the whole word. It's 2 lines like this. That means parallel. So in a minute here, when we have to name what kind of lines, we can use that shortcut. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross at a 90-degree angle or a right angle. So they cross at 90 degrees. An example would be these 2 rays. How I know it's 90 is because they have a box in there, and that tells me it's 90 degrees. The shortcut way for you to write perpendicular so you don't have to write out the whole word is an upside down T. That represents perpendicular. So let's go through these. I want you to number your notebook 1 through 6. This being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want you to write intersecting, parallel, or perpendicular. Stop the video now. All right, welcome back. Since this is a 90-degree angle, this would be perpendicular. Since these never touch, they are parallel. 90 degrees, perpendicular. These do cross, but they're not crossing at 90 degrees. This is the only one we have to write out. It's intersecting. This is parallel. They never touch. Again, 90 degrees, perpendicular. So how would we write this? We would write this. These are segments. They have points on the end. They do not go on forever. So we'd say segment N, Y. That's my Y. Segment H, are. So now we have to realize there's a 90-degree angle, so these are perpendicular. You go ahead and try this next one. So you would say JH segment is intersecting to segment CE. Notice how I didn't put arrows on the end because these are segments and not lines. One more, go ahead. So again, this is segment PG, segment WF, and these are parallel. Not sure where that came from. All right, so now we're going to look at the last two words for today, angle and vertex. Angle is formed by two rays. So right here's, I made an angle and I put a box to make it a 90-degree angle. So how you would label it is angle ABC. So if I had an angle, the most important letter is the middle one. That is known as the vertex. It's the point where they intersect. So if I have an angle, oops, this kind of got off. Let's ignore that. I have an angle. The vertex is that point right there where they intersect, and that's the label B. That's the one in the middle. So you always have to make sure that the middle letter is your vertex. So we're going to name this angle right here. So if I wanted to name this angle right here, I would call it angle JGH. That's one name. I could name it angle HGJ because I'm going in this direction, or I could just call it angle G. The problem with right now calling it angle G is I don't know if I'm talking about this one or this one. So that's why we really only have two here, this one to this to this. All right, you're going to begin your worksheets. Good luck.